No dog sold or raised for illegal purposes. This is a historical and entertainment-based channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. Episode 58, yeah. Yeah. The case of Ramrod's Billy Brokentail, champion Sooner and his offspring. A deeper look at pain Scooter Red. Let us analyze the evidence on this episode of Bulldog Court. Bulldog community, please rise. This is your host, Get a Hold James, because we got to get a hold of the game.
Court is now in session.
This is your boy, Get a Hold James, because we got to get a hold of the game. I'm so happy that you could join me tonight. You could have been anywhere else in the Bulldog streets, but you decided to come kick it with your boy. And I'm so happy that you did the underdig. I'd like to thank everybody for checking out last week's Bulldog Court episode 57. But we had a real good time, man. We had a few cases that we covered, and I'd like to thank everybody for checking us out for the proceedings that I had that evening. And then we all slid over to Bulldog Court live after show, where we had the Honorable J-Bo, King T, Pressure, and special guest Cosmic Cal, who joined us on the show. A lot of laughter, a lot of good information. Some of it was kind of scattered, but we made the best of it. And also too, I would like to tell everybody that I am not the judge nor jury, but it is up to you, the Bulldog community, to decide which way the tide may roll. Say, man, whole lot of drama in these Bulldog Talk streets. Capaholics getting drunk every day, drunk off the cap. What can we tell you? We don't know. We just observe the cap and call it however we see it. Whatever. But I'm not going to prolong the time. For my first case, the case of Ramrod's Billy Brokentail. Let us look into this. I'm still on my unsung tear through the Bulldog world. From the archives, we go looking at some forgotten champions or grand champions or just significant dogs that people may have forgotten along the way. It's so many years. We're talking about all the way back hundreds of years of many champions and grand champions and just great producers. And some of these dogs are all in the same era, some come from different eras, just so many. So I want to just take a time and go in on another one. So when we look at Ramrod's Billy Brokentail, we see that he's pretty much a Patrick, and it has Richardson's legs, Bryant's buck, and Bryant's bony. But this dog pretty much is a combination of bloodline that first produced effectively for the fellow dog men of the British Isles. So this was an import. Bred by R. Richardson of Ireland and campaigned by Ramrod Kennels. He would win 3. His first one was at 48, won in 53 minutes. His second one was at 47 pounds, won an hour and 2 minutes. And his third one was 45.5 pounds for 37 minutes. Very impressive hound. This was back in the 80s. His last one was in 1990, so we're talking about years and years ago. But very impressive animal. An animal that deserves to be mentioned with many others you usually don't hear. Anytime you hear Ramrod, you automatically usually think of the Tramp Dog. but it was not the case. I encourage everybody to do their homework and their due diligence on Ramrod's Billy Broken-Tail. And basically, the most simple way I could summarize how he's bred is pretty much a Bo Leo heavy wise Maximilian cross, or Ross's Red Devil cross dog. And one of his more significant dogs that he produced is Ricky B's Champion Sonny. And I have the complete story and write up on Ricky B's Champion Sonny on my Sporting Dog Archive page. Shameless plug. You can look at, and find that on the page and look at and listen to, Champion Sonny's story. You can look that up in its entirety for your enjoyment. So I'm just going to leave this right here. Have you ever heard of Ramrod's Champion Billy Broken-Tail? Salute. Oh, Bobby Digital. Salute. Pressure Kennels Combine. A lot of the Midwest sauce, they have inspired for these things to come out about a lot of different animals from a lot of different places other than the Midwest. Just some dogs that you pretty much will probably never hear about, or just simply overlook them, or maybe they was before your time. Nevertheless, just some good info for the Bulldog community to study, the pedigrees, the formulas, the patterns, if you will, and look at what they are or were at one time. Ross Red Devil or Wise Maximilian Cross. You really don't see that. The closest I've seen to something like that is the Red Alert dog that was in, I believe that was in Russia. He was heavy, buck, with a quarter of the Wise Maximilian stuff. Anybody ever remember the Champion Red Alert dog from overseas? But I just want to leave this right here for the Bulldog community. I look forward to seeing your comments. I look forward to hearing your commentary on the live after show. And let me know what you think about this dog's pedigree. What do you think about his record? And just what do you think about the dog overall? Is this a dog that you would have had on your yard back in the days, or not so much? So for the case of Ramrod's Billy Broken-Tail, this case is now dismissed. We'll get back to the show after these important messages.
Add these reading materials to your historical literature collection of the American Pit Bull Terrier. The Big Red Handbook, Family Bred and Raised, Dogs, Dogmen, and Bloodlines, and the Schoolboy Keep. Contact Richard Schoolboy Garcia on Messenger and purchase your part of history today.
Hammerhead on the beat, bitch.
Oh yeah. And now it's time for my second case. Champion Sooner and his offspring. I want to just look at this animal. He was brought up in last week's Bulldog Court live, I believe. Very heavy bred on the banjo. Champion El Diablo Negro. Chop Chop. Dead Serious Kennels Wiggles Blood. Of course, Wiggles goes back to the Shabazz Champion Leroy Brown. Bred to Grand Champion LG's Tina. Champion Sooner will be off of Go Hard Kennels Polo, one-time winner, off of Banjo and Champion Topanga. Dead Serious Kennels Champion Topanga. Topanga is out of Champion El Diablo Negro and Woods Lexus, which is a Halls Kansas Rooster Woods Shady Lady dog. Heavy Eli. The bottom side is FLK's Miss Rage, which is off TGK's Andy, one-time loser. who's out of Dead Serious Kennels and Mass Chop Chop, and GGK's Angel. Angel would be out of Banjo to Jules. Very famous breeding right there, the Banjo Jules breeding. Then you have, they took Andy and bred him to TGK's Latina, out of DSK's Latino Boy and DSK's Wiggles. Latino Boy is out of Dead Serious Kennels champion El Diablo Negro, bred to Grand Champion Tina. Wiggles out of Shabazz champion Leroy Brown, bred to Grand Champion LG's Tina. Very well bred animal with the champion. But let us go to one of his more famous offspring. D&D's champion Brindle Bug. Man, I love the way that this animal is put together. Not only was she a champion, but she was bred, out the yin yang as well. Of course, sooner with all the Banjo champion El Diablo Negro stuff on top. Bred to D&D's Ladybug, one-time winner, who is out of the family's Outlaw. This is the dog I personally was trying to get in touch with, and did get in touch with him. And I think Katrina happened and never lost contact with him. But the family's Outlaw, this is off of South or Dykes 8-ball 2-time winner, bred to champion Dykes Little O or Jolene. 8-ball and Joe champion Little O or sister and brother. So it was inbred. South Kennels is pretty much Deloach Rocker blood, Midnight Cowboy Boomerang type stuff. And the Ladybug one-time winner, they took Outlaw and bred the Public Enemy's Libby, which is a heavy McCool dog. R.I.P. A.W. McCool. And so just a lot of Carver firepower with Eli blended in, just as well as the top side, just a different way. So I really like this animal. He has several other good dogs from, Ultimate Warrior Kennels and others. I just thought I would highlight this champion from D&D. So I look forward to your commentary. I look forward to your comments in Bulldog Court and the live after show. So for the case of Champion Sooner and his offspring, this case is now dismissed. Yeah, and now it's time for my third and final case. A closer look at Payne's champion Scooter Red. This is yet another unsung. This female owned by Massey Payne, who is out of Uptown's Idi Amin, and Payne's champion Black Annie. Heavy Bolio Tombstone female. And by the way, if you want to even closer deep dive into the dogs behind Payne's champion Scooter Red, take a look at Schoolboy Garcia's channel and look up Paul Renoli Morris. That interview, this is the person who owned Idi Amin and many other dogs from that lineage of Bolio dogs. Let me get it straight. Bolio dogs. And very interesting interview. If you're into this line of dogs, he will give you a lot of fill-ins on certain dogs and what happened to them and what they produced down the line. But when we look at, not only was she a champion, Payne Scooter Red was a champion, she also produced dogs like Payne's Nasty, who that came out of when she was bred to Grand Champion STP's Buck. Payne's Nasty was a one-time winner. They took her and bred her to Grand Champion Yellow to Grand Champion Yellow and got Hell on Earth, Scooter Pie, and many other producing dogs from that breeding. You can find that breeding also if you look at Competition Kennels champion I believe that's Romel or either Romel book, you will find Payne's Nasty bred to yellow in the pedigree. Maybe look down at the bottom quarter, you'll see it. Also too, she produced Payne's Champion Slinky. When bred the Inner City's Champion Patch-Eyed Pete. Patch-Eyed Pete was off of Hargrove Spanky. Hargrove Spanky is a little mate brother to Abernathy's Molly, which is Chinaman's Dam. Spanky was out of Snooty, bred to Hyde's Bloody Sunday. On the bottom is some more Eli with Abernathy's Molly in the pedigree. So heavy Eli Carver bred to some Bo Leo, though the Champion Slinky dog. Then we will have one of the more famous dogs from Payne's Champion Scooter Red, which is Gardner's and Payne's Lean. Oh man. There's not too many people who have not heard about Payne's and Gardner's Lean. Produced a grand champion and many other 1 and 2-time winners. And even now to this day, Tom is look like he's trying to come in with a reincarnation, a clone of Lee Lang to continue the Frisco Lee Lang saga, if you will. It look like it might be a never ending story, if you know what I mean. Also too, of course, when you look down the line at Frisco himself, you will see Idi Amin through Hobbs Tuffy in the pedigree on Frisco. So very much ties to each other, Frisco and Lee Lang, through the Bo Leo tombstone from the Payne strain of Bolio. I would just like to leave this here and I look forward to your commentary, look forward to your comments. And for the case of a deeper look at Payne's Champion Scooter Red, this case is now dismissed. Oh yeah, now it's time for my closing monologue. And like I say every time, make your next move your best move, but move strategic, like a chess move. Say man, make sure you got that water out there and change them water buckets out on a regular. Make sure that water cool, man, cause it's hotter than 2 hookers in a phone booth. You understand me? Stay true to yourself, my brothers. And this is your boy, Get a Hope James, because we got to get a hold of the game. I'm out.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and tell a dogman or woman about the Sporting Dog Archive.